In a dark corner of history, between walls of oblivion, lies the story of a man named Rudolf Hess. He stood in the heart of the storm, then disappeared behind its shadows, as if fate had created him to be an echo rather than a voice, a shadow rather than a glow. A story that began quietly and ended in eerie silence. Rudolf Hess was born on April 26, 1894, under the bright sun of Alexandria, not in Munich or Berlin, but on the shores of the Mediterranean, in a house filled with the scents of the sea, spices, and financial reports. He was the son of a wealthy German family engaged in trade, but his heart never knew the warmth of childhood. He was raised on order, discipline, and silence. When the Great War broke out in 1914, he did not hesitate to take up arms and join the front, like thousands of young Europeans at the time. He fought in battle, was wounded twice, and received medals, but he never returned. In his eyes was an old sadness, and in his heart was a void that nothing could fill. A part of him had died there, amidst the trenches and mud. The war ended, the empire collapsed, and the Germans returned to a defeated homeland on its knees. Amid this rubble, Hess searched for something to fill his emptiness. He found it in an eccentric, fiery-eyed orator named Adolf Hitler. The meeting was fateful. He saw in him not just a political leader, but the prophet of a new doctrine. He joined the Nazi Party early on and became one of its staunchest supporters. He participated in the failed beer hall putsch of 1923 and was imprisoned with Hitler. There, in a cold cell, Hitler wrote Mein Kampf while Hess put his thoughts to paper, keeping the secret, memorizing the text. Silently, he rose through the ranks. He was neither the flamboyant Göring nor the terrifying Himmler. He was an obedient, loyal shadow, unquestioning and unquestioning. In 1939, he became the Führer's deputy, one of the people closest to the mountaintop, the summit of fire. On the evening of May 10, 1941, the unbelievable happened. He boarded a Messerschmitt fighter plane and took off alone from Munich toward Scotland. He wasn't carrying a weapon, but a message of peace. He wanted to meet the Duke of Hamilton to persuade the British to make peace with Germany, so Hitler could focus on his war with the Soviet Union. He wasn't an official envoy, and no one knew his intentions, not even Hitler himself. It was a personal decision, a strange impulse from a man deluded by dreams of grandeur or imagining himself as a savior. But the flight was a failure from the moment it took off. The British arrested him, rejected his mediation, and considered him eccentric, if not insane. As for Hitler, he declared him sick and publicly disowned him, like wet wood thrown out of a battlefield. After the war ended, Hess was tried at the Nuremberg tribunal. He wasn't a murderer, nor one of the great decision-makers, but he was a great believer, and for that, punishment was inevitable. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. In Spandau prison in West Berlin, he spent the rest of his life alone in a cell, his years slowly melting like ice. He was the last prisoner and remained there alone for nearly 20 years, hearing only the echo of the guard's footsteps and writing only for himself.